You've probably heard your teachers or parents talk about this thing called climate change, but do you know what it means? And what does it even have to do with your life? Well, let's begin with a simple question. Do you know the difference between weather and climate? If not, I'll give you a hint. The most important difference is time. The weather is something temporary. It can be sunny in the morning and then rainy in the afternoon. This is an ordinary pattern for all different regions throughout our beautiful planet. But climate describes a weather condition for a specific location around the world. Changes in climate may be seen in differing average high or low temperatures for a region over time, or differing levels of precipitation for a region over time, like snowfall or rainfall. And when studying this data, scientists have concluded that we are living in the age of global warming. But you may ask, how do we understand that the climate on Earth is in fact getting warmer? Well, satellites and other tools have helped scientists collect plenty of information about the Earth, its atmosphere, and our oceans. All of this research and data shows us that, especially in the past 20 years, the Earth's climate in general has been getting warmer and warmer at an alarming rate. So, how does this happen? Well, some gases in the Earth's atmosphere accumulate and trap heat from the sun, creating a type of greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect in itself is not necessarily a bad thing. That's what keeps the Earth warm enough for you and I and plants and animals to live comfortably here. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to. But certain human activities, such as deforestation and the burning of fossil fuels, creates more of these gases in an artificial way, which traps more heat from the sun and creates an average level of global warming all over our planet. So, what does carbon have to do with this? Well, you may have heard of carbon dioxide as one of these big bad gases that's contributing to climate change and global warming. But how does it even get there? Well, all living beings are made of carbon. That's what most of our bodies are. And naturally, whenever plants or animals or people die, over time we end up buried under the ground. And after a significant number of years pass, these compressed underground remnants may turn into fossil fuels, such as coal and petroleum. You may have heard that the gas that you pump into your cars comes from dinosaur bones. And in a way, that's kind of true. And when we burn this fuel, carbon that was in the soil gets put into the air in the form of a gas, this so-called carbon dioxide. Now, plants and trees may absorb some of this additional carbon dioxide that we're putting into the atmosphere, but unfortunately, most of it remains on Earth in the form of greenhouse gases that overheat our planet. For millions of years, the Earth's climate has gone through periods of heating and cooling. In the past, we know that the Earth was often more heated when the sun was highly active and had more what we call solar flares on its surface. But now we can measure the current level of solar activity due to the help of science, and we know now that our Earth is heating up even when there are not a lot of active solar flares. And today, in our current time, our planet is becoming heated faster and faster and more than in any time in human history. Already, the average ground temperature has increased by approximately 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, a couple of degrees may not seem that much over the period of 100 years. However, this change has serious consequences for the health of the plants and animals in our world. This climatic change entails ice on the polar caps of our Earth melting and running off into our oceans. And the more water there is in our oceans, the higher the sea level becomes. In addition, The water expands molecularly as it gets warmer. Also, warm water takes up more space in the oceans, thus increasing the sea level. That reduces coastlines and eats up a lot of coastal communities for both people and animals. Ocean water properties also change, and one of these changes is called ocean acidification, and it may also be harmful for the animal and plant life of our world. Scientists have noted that the ocean is already acidified, as its water absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and makes it harmful for everything, fish, plants, whatever, who live in our waters. We as humans can do things to minimize the damage our activity creates. The first step in doing this is to learn more about our planet and the effect that we have on it. And you'll see that there are simple things even you can do to help save our world. First of all, whenever you're out in nature, of course, clean up after yourself. If there's anything plastic or that's not biodegradable, make sure it's put in the proper place, or even better, recycled. Secondly, why not help out by planting trees to soak up that extra carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Also, don't disturb animals in their natural habitat. They're there for a reason. They help keep the ecosystem balanced. And lastly, if you're into camping or picnicking, make bonfires only at appropriate places and with appropriate instruction. Burning unnecessary things, plastics, or not proper wood can create more gases that are not good for our environment. For food options, choose things that are locally sourced. That means that a lot of fossil fuels won't be burned in the trucks and boats that it would take to bring your food from one place to another. Also, try to choose non-processed foods without a lot of excess packaging. Also, don't waste food. Either compost it or use a freezer to save your leftovers instead of throwing it away. Whenever you go shopping, avoid using plastic bags. Remember to bring a reusable one with you whenever you leave the house. Also, whenever things break, try to repair them first, whether that be a hole in your winter jacket or a broken electronic. Don't just throw away the ones that you haven't figured out how to repair. For the same reason, avoid excess spending and shopping. Again, don't buy things just to throw them away. That creates unnecessary production, which creates unnecessary fossil fuel use. For the same reason, when you're at home, be mindful of how much power and water you spend. Again, all of the electricity has to come from somewhere. Power plants that burn fossil fuels to bring your electricity to your home. Also, if you can, sort your recycling into paper, food, and plastic goods so that you can bring them to your local recycling center and have these materials reused. Lastly, try to reuse everything that's around your house. Hand down clothes or toys to younger siblings or friends to make sure that nothing is wasted. With these simple habits, even you can help protect the environment, reduce the expenditure of fossil fuels, and help protect our planet from the consequences of global warming. You can help save our Earth.